To start, place the lens and on-off switch in the bottom as pictured. Place the circuit board on the bottom. Then slot the battery terminals into the bottom piece. If needed, connect the battery wires to the circuit board as well. Put that aside for now and grab the inner cover piece. Take the large belt and slip it between the bottom wheel mount and the button tube as pictured. Navigate the belt to where it is around the flexible wheel mount at pictured. Next, grab a wheel and the small belt. Place the small belt in the groove furthest away from the nub sticking out. Set that wheel aside for now. Grab the other wheel with no belt in place. Gently press it in place, flexing the wheel holder a bit until it clicks in place. Now work the belt around the lower wheel and up to the top wheel well. Place the large belt to the side as shown. With the belt out of the way, grab the wheel with the small belt on it and insert it to the top wheel well. Again, flex the flexible bit as needed and press it in carefully until it clicks in place. Work the belt onto the top wheel in the remaining groove. Then give it a few turns in both directions so that it will find the correct groove in the bottom wheel. Grab the bottom piece now so we can put them together. There are 4 places that mate together as I am pointing out here. I like to use the rear 2 to align the inner cover as I bring it down on the bottom. There should be little to no gap. If there is, fiddle with the on-off switch as it may not have mated properly with the circuit board if it was in the wrong position. Place it down gently and insert 3 screws into the locations shown. Screw in the screws until snug. Now that it is screwed together, grab the shaft. Gently insert it into the lower wheel hole. You may need to spin it slightly to align it properly. Now grab some 95 ATPU filament and slide it through the 3 spacer. Spacer 3 should work and will be a good starting point. Once the spacer is on the TPU, slide it into a buttonhole. Press it in until you hear it clicking the button. Apply enough pressure to hold the TPU against the button, but not so much that you compress it. Grab some flush cutters and cut the TPU flush with the spacer. Repeat the same process for the 3 other remaining button holes. Make sure the holes are clear and you can hear or feel them click. If you can't hear them click, or it is not consistent, use some hard filament like PLA and run it through the holes until smoother. There are 5 sizes of spacers as different TPUs may vary in stiffness. The number 3 size seems to work well with the ones I have tested, but you may need to experiment to get the perfect click. Also, depending on what angle and how cleanly you cut the TPU can play a role as well. Once they are all cut, I like to give them another test to make sure they are all clickable. Note that because your skin is flexible, they may not click for your finger, but you can use your fingernail since it is hard. At least for my mouse, the left and right mouse buttons are very quiet compared to the others. With that done, we are good to put on the outer shell of your choosing. When doing so, make sure that the TPU buttons are in as far as they go, or they may catch and get dragged out and bent when the shell comes on. With the outer shell now on, hold it in place and test the buttons to make sure they are all clicking properly for you. For me, the upper thumb button was not working, so I took out the TPU for it. and cut a new piece. I use the same number 3 spacer as there can be variances in how you cut them even with the same spacer. You may cut at a slight angle or apply too much pressure while cutting. It sometimes takes a bit of chance to get perfect. I put back on my outer cover and tested all the buttons again. This time the button worked perfectly for me. All the other buttons seem to be working fine as well. So, it is time to put in the last 2 screws. They both go in the bottom and just get tightened until snug. Once the screws are in and tight, apply the 4 pads to the bottom. I am not doing that in this video, however, as I already have mine stuck on another mouse. Note I have provided the files to print new ones that can be glued on. Finally, insert a AA battery, make sure it is off. Insert the USB if you would like and put on the battery cover. That's it. You now have a fully functioning 3D printed mouse. Be sure to like the model and share with your friends. Enjoy!